Have you ever spent good money on beautiful flowers for your patio or balcony, only to watch them struggle, dry out, or completely disappear by the end of the season? You're not alone. For a lot of people, container gardening starts with excitement and ends with frustration. The constant watering, endless maintenance, and having to replace plants every year can make gardening feel more like a chore than a hobby. But what if you could fill your pots with plants that come back year after year, handle a little neglect, and still look absolutely stunning? The truth is, some perennials are so easygoing that they practically take care of themselves once they're established. Welcome back to Greenest Garden, where we make gardening simpler, smarter, and a whole lot more enjoyable. In today's video, I'm sharing 10 lazy perennials that thrive in pots and containers with very little effort from you. These are reliable plants that return season after season, tolerate occasional missed waterings, and keep your patio, balcony, porch, or small garden looking beautiful without demanding constant attention. If you've been dreaming of a gorgeous container garden that doesn't feel like a second full-time job, you're going to love this list. So grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's meet the 10 low-maintenance perennials that can transform your containers with almost no fuss. Quick setup before we get to the list. Before we jump into the plants, I want to share a few simple tips that will make your container garden much more successful. First, don't be afraid to choose larger pots. Bigger containers hold more soil, which means they retain moisture longer and give plant roots more room to grow. That translates into less frequent watering and healthier, happier plants overall. It's one of the easiest ways to reduce maintenance right from the start. The second thing is drainage. No matter how tough or low maintenance a perennial is, most won't tolerate sitting in waterlogged soil for long. Always choose containers with drainage holes at the bottom and use a high-quality potting mix rather than garden soil. Potting mix stays lighter, drains better, and helps prevent root problems. Get these basics right, and every plant on today's list will have the best possible chance to thrive with very little effort from you. Now that we've got the foundation covered, let's take a look at our first lazy perennial. Plant number 1, lavender. If there were a hall of fame for low-maintenance container plants, lavender would have a permanent spot right at the top. This Mediterranean beauty practically thrives on neglect once it's established, making it perfect for gardeners who don't want to spend every day with a watering can in hand. Lavender loves the excellent drainage that containers provide, and when placed in a sunny spot, it rewards you with months of fragrant purple blooms and beautiful silver-green foliage. Unlike many flowering plants that demand constant attention, lavender is happiest when you leave it alone and resist the urge to overwater it. But the benefits go far beyond its good looks. Lavender attracts bees, butterflies, and other beneficial pollinators, while naturally helping to discourage pests like mosquitoes from hanging around your outdoor spaces. Its soothing fragrance can transform a simple patio or balcony into a relaxing retreat, and the flowers can even be harvested and dried for crafts, sachets, or homemade decor. Give it a sunny location, pot with excellent drainage, and occasional watering during dry periods, and this hard-working perennial will return year after year with very little effort on your part. Plant number 2, Echinacea. Purple coneflower. Echinacea, commonly known as purple coneflower, is one of those rare plants that manages to be both beautiful and incredibly tough. If you're looking for a perennial that delivers months of colorful blooms without demanding constant care, this plant deserves a place in your container garden. Its large daisy-like flowers in shades of purple, pink, and white stand tall above sturdy stems, creating a cheerful display from summer well into early fall. Even better, Echinacea handles heat, drought, and occasional neglect remarkably well once established, making it an excellent choice for busy gardeners. What really makes Echinacea special is that it continues adding interest long after the flowers fade. Instead of rushing to deadhead every bloom, you can leave the seed heads standing through autumn and winter, where they provide food for birds and add texture to your containers. Bees and butterflies absolutely love the flowers, turning your patio or balcony into a pollinator hotspot throughout the growing season. Give echinacea a large pot, plenty of sunshine, and well-draining soil, and you'll have a dependable perennial that comes back stronger year after year with very little effort. Plant number 3, catmint. Catmint is one of those plants that quietly outperforms almost everything around it. While other flowers may need constant deadheading, watering, and attention, catmint simply keeps blooming and looking beautiful, with very little help from you. Its soft, gray-green foliage forms neat mounds that spill gracefully over the edges of containers, while spikes of lavender blue flowers provide color from late spring all the way into late summer. It's drought-tolerant, heat-tolerant, and incredibly forgiving, making it a perfect choice for gardeners who want maximum impact with minimal effort. Another reason gardeners love catmint is its ability to attract pollinators. Bees and butterflies flock to the nectar-rich flowers, bringing life and movement to your patio or balcony throughout the season. At the same time, deer and rabbits tend to leave it alone, which is always a welcome bonus. Compact varieties such as cats' pajamas are especially well suited for containers, staying tidy while producing an impressive number of blooms. Plant it in full sun, use a well-draining potting mix, and you'll have a long flowering perennial that practically takes care of itself year after year. Plant number 4, daylily. Daylilies are proof that some of the most beautiful plants can also be some of the easiest to grow. These reliable perennials adapt surprisingly well to container life and reward gardeners with vibrant blooms in shades of yellow, orange, red, pink, and peach. Each flower may only last a single day, but established plants produce so many buds that the display continues for weeks. Even better, daylilies are incredibly forgiving. If you occasionally forget to water or miss a bit of routine maintenance, they're unlikely to hold it against you. One of the biggest reasons daylilies are so popular is their resilience. They tolerate heat, humidity, and a wide range of growing conditions while continuing to perform year after year. Compact and dwarf varieties are especially well suited for pots, creating a colorful display without overwhelming the container. Their arching foliage also adds texture and movement, even when the plants aren't in bloom. Place them in a sunny location, provide moderate watering, and divide overcrowded clumps every few years, and you'll enjoy a dependable perennial that delivers beautiful flowers with very little effort. Plant number 5, sedum, stonecrop. If you're the type of gardener who occasionally forgets to water your plants, sedum might just be your new best friend. Often called stonecrop, this hardy perennial is a succulent, which means it stores water in its thick, fleshy leaves and can easily handle dry conditions. While other container plants may start drooping after a missed watering, sedum continues, looking fresh and healthy, with very little attention. Its compact growth habit, attractive foliage, and clusters of colorful flowers make it an excellent choice for sunny patios, balconies, and porches. What makes sedum even more appealing is its ability to provide interest late in the growing season. When many other plants are beginning to fade, the flower heads emerge in shades of pink, red, and rosy purple, attracting bees and butterflies in large numbers. Even after the blooms fade, the dried flower heads continue to add texture and beauty well into autumn and winter. Give sedum a sunny location, a fast-draining potting mix, and occasional watering, and it will reward you with years of reliable performance while asking almost nothing in return. Plant number 6, agapanthus, lily of the Nile. If you're looking for a perennial that delivers a big visual impact without demanding constant care, agapanthus is hard to beat. Often called lily of the Nile, this elegant plant produces tall stems topped with large globe-shaped clusters of blue, purple, or white flowers that seem to float above the foliage. It instantly adds a touch of sophistication to patios, balconies, and front porches, making even a simple container look like a professionally designed garden feature. Best of all, once established, agapanthus is surprisingly low maintenance and can thrive for years in the same pot. One of the reasons Agapanthus is so perfect for lazy gardeners is that it actually enjoys having its roots slightly crowded. While many plants demand frequent repotting, Agapanthus often blooms more heavily when it's a little pot-bound. That means less work for you and more flowers every season. Give it a sunny location, water regularly during active growth, and ease back on watering during cooler months. Aside from removing spent flower stalks, if you choose, this perennial asks for very little, while rewarding you with a spectacular display year after year. Plant number 7. Heuchera. Coral bells. If you have a shady patio, balcony, or porch, and think your container gardening options are limited, Heuchera is here to prove otherwise. Also known as coral bells, this stunning perennial is grown primarily for its incredible foliage, rather than its flowers. The leaves come in an amazing range of colors, including deep burgundy, lime green, caramel, silver, purple, and even near black shades. Because the foliage remains attractive for most of the year, Heuchera provides long-lasting beauty in containers, even when other plants have stopped blooming. Another reason Heuchera is a favorite among low-maintenance gardeners is its easygoing nature. It thrives in part shade to full shade, requires only moderate watering, and rarely demands much attention once established. The compact growth habit makes it perfect for pots, either as a standalone feature or combined with other shade-loving plants. In late spring and summer, delicate flower spikes rise above the colorful foliage, attracting bees and other pollinators. With its striking appearance and minimal care requirements, Heuchera is one of the easiest ways to add year-round interest to a container garden. Plant number 8. Black-eyed Susan. If you're looking for a perennial that instantly brings warmth and cheerfulness to a container garden, Black-eyed Susan is an excellent choice. With its bright golden yellow petals surrounding a dark center, this classic wildflower creates a sunny, welcoming display from midsummer into fall. It's the kind of plant that makes a patio, balcony, or front porch feel alive and inviting. Even better, Black-eyed Susan is incredibly adaptable and can handle heat, drought, and occasional neglect far better than many other flowering perennials. One of the reasons gardeners love Black-eyed Susan is that it works hard without asking for much in return. The long-lasting blooms attract bees, butterflies, and other beneficial pollinators throughout the season, while the seed heads can be left in place during autumn and winter to provide food for birds. It thrives in full sun and well-draining soil, and once established, it requires very little maintenance beyond occasional watering during extended dry spells. For gardeners who want months of vibrant color with minimal effort, Black-eyed Susan is a reliable container superstar that returns year after year. Plant number 9. Salvia. Salvia is one of the easiest ways to add height, color, and movement to a container garden without adding stress. It produces tall, elegant spikes of flowers in rich shades of purple, blue, pink, or red, depending on the variety, and it keeps blooming for weeks in warm weather. In pots, it stays well behaved as long as it has full sun and good drainage, making it a reliable choice for gardeners who want something beautiful but not demanding. What makes salvia especially valuable is how alive it makes your space feel. The flowers are a constant magnet for hummingbirds and butterflies, bringing motion and energy to even the smallest balcony or patio. Once established, it handles heat and short dry spells with ease, needing only occasional watering and light maintenance. It also pairs beautifully with trailing plants in mixed containers, giving you that full, professional garden look with very little effort. Plant number 10. Yarrow. Yarrow is one of the toughest, most forgiving perennials you can grow in containers, making it a perfect final pick for a low-maintenance pot garden. It thrives in full sun and actually prefers poor, well-drained soil, which means it performs beautifully in pots where other plants might struggle. Once established, it barely complains about heat or drought and keeps producing its soft, feathery foliage and flat-topped flower clusters with very little attention. In bloom, yarrow brings a soft, wildflower charm to any container, with colors ranging from white and yellow to pink and peach depending on the variety. It attracts bees and other beneficial insects constantly, turning even a simple patio setup into a lively pollinator spot. The best part is how little it asks for just occasional deadheading if you want to extend flowering, though even that is optional. So here's the big picture. Container gardening doesn't have to be this constant cycle of watering, replacing, and starting over. When you choose the right perennials, your pots stop being high maintenance and start becoming self-sustaining little ecosystems that come back stronger every year. These 10 plants all share one thing in common. They don't demand perfection. They handle heat, forgetful watering, and everyday neglect far better than most plants, while still giving you color, texture, and life in return. Once they settle in, your job becomes less about keeping them alive and more about simply enjoying the space you've created. If this helped you rethink what's possible in a container garden, make sure you subscribe to Greenest Garden for more simple, practical planting ideas that actually work in real life. Drop a comment and tell me which plant you're trying first, or if you already grow any of these in pots, share how they're doing. I'd love to hear your setup. And if you want more easy garden ideas, stick around because next we're diving into how to turn even the smallest balcony into a lush, year-round green space without constant maintenance. Your garden doesn't need more effort, it just needs better plant choices.